Okay, so getting back into our coverage over the X-Men, we do pick up with X-Men issue number 29 from the 1991 series. Now, here's the thing about this issue alone. It kind of begins the whole process of us seeing Psylocke getting together with Archangel because, okay, in later comics down the road that we're going to talk about when it comes to our coverage over the X-Men, we do get some moments in time where you have Psylocke and Archangel being a legit couple. And for me, this is the starting point of the reason why those two characters have became a couple in X-Men comics. Because you do have Psylocke and also Archangel going over to the Hellfire Club. Now, before we dive into the whole idea of the return of the Hellfire Club and also Psylocke and also Archangel becoming a couple, we have to jump over to the opening pages of the storyline where we pick up with Sabretooth about a fight against Psylocke. Now, when it comes to Sabretooth, we have to remember that he's now staying at the school of Charles Xavier. And the reason why, because, okay, for Charles Xavier, he truly believes that he has the ability to cure the mind of Sabretooth because Sabretooth is a wild dude. The dude will kill anybody standing in his path. And so for Charles, he believes that he has the ability to cure Sabretooth, to turn him into a better person. And so the reason why we're seeing Sabretooth fighting against Psylocke is because it's part of the training thing going on with Charles Xavier. He wants to see if Sabretooth is able to hold back when it comes to fighting against somebody else and not turn into no bloodthirsty character who wants to kill people off. He wanted to see Sabretooth being able to fight against Psylocke in a nice, friendly sparring session. Now, while you have the two characters fighting against one another, you have Charles Xavier and also Beast watching over the two characters. Now, Archangel is also there as well, but he comes in a tad bit later when it comes to the two characters battling against each other. Now, for Archangel, he quickly shows us that he is somewhat jealous of the whole idea of Psylocke being in there with Sabretooth. Now, when I say being jealous, it's really more of that he sees Psylocke begin to flirt with Sabretooth because as the battle goes on, you have the two characters begin to talk to one another. And while they're talking to one another, it's really more the two characters flirting with each other. It's Psylocke saying like, hey, she would not mind getting with Sabretooth. And so for Archangel, he's really expressing the whole idea that he is jealous, but at the same time, he does not want to admit it. And for Charles Xavier and also Beast, they're like, hey man, you sound a tad bit jealous there. Like, do you want to tell us something? But you do have Archangel just walk away. And really, you have Psylocke also walk away from the battle with Sabretooth, but again, kind of giving us another hint that she would not mind being with Sabretooth. Now, I want to shift our focus over to Archangel, and here's the reason why. Because for Archangel, we get the whole idea that he is lonely because he has no one to be there with. At first, when he came to Archangel in the early days of X-Men comics, his main goal was to get with Jean Grey. But as we all know, Jean Grey chose two other people, and she's now marrying one of those two people, and that would be Cyclops. Now, there was another person named Candy, but as we all know, she was killed off by Cameron Hodge in the earlier parts of our coverage over the X-Men. And then for Archangel, when he was just a regular guy, Apocalypse happened and turned him into Archangel. And so for Archangel, he's kind of like, I have no one in my life. In the last few years of my life, the only thing I have gone through is just more drama left and right. It's him kind of wondering, like, will his life ever turn around? Now, that is the moment where you have Jubilee kind of skate into the room. Yes, I say skate because she's roller skating inside the house. But either way, you have Jubilee tell Archangel that he has mail. And of course, she hands the mail over to him. And this begins the whole idea of the return of the Hellfire Club. Now, the Hellfire Club has been around for a good while in Marvel Comics, but it's also a global club. You have different clubhouses across the entire world so that different members can join no matter where they are. Now, for the Hellfire Club, you got to have some money to be able to properly join. Now, there is the thing called the inner circle, and the inner circle were a group of people who work behind the scenes to accomplish different kind of goals for their own personal needs. Like, for example, you had Emma Frost and also Sebastian Shaw, and the list goes on. Now, for the inner circle, right now, there is no inner circle because each member of the inner circle is dead or currently just not being used by Marvel Comics at this time point. And so right now, there is no inner circle, but it does seem like somebody's trying to bring back the inner circle, and that would be Shinobi Shaw, the son of Sebastian Shaw. Now, the reason why you had Archangel get a letter from the Hellfire Club is because, well, his father was a member of the Hellfire Club, which means that no matter what, the children of the previous member are also now members of the Hellfire Club. So for Archangel, he has a free pass to join just like that. But Shinobi Shaw was the one who has sent that letter over to Archangel. Now for Psylocke, she does walk into the room as well, and she also sees that Archangel got a letter from the Hellfire Club. And the thing is, she remembers going to the London branch of the Hellfire Club many times. Now, her family, they also have money. They also were part of the Hellfire Club, which means that with her being the daughter of her parents, she's also now a member of the Hellfire Club as well. Now, for Archangel and also Psylocke, they kind of agreed to go together to figure out what is happening right now with the Hellfire Club and the possibility of the return of the inner circle. Now, when it comes to our X4/New Warriors Child's Play video, we had talked about the whole idea of that storyline happening at the exact same time as this book came out. And so just for like 2 pages, we kind of see Archangel and also Psylocke arrive at the Hellfire Club branch in Manhattan. And they do run into Night Thrasher, who's also a member of the Hellfire Club as well. Now, he's only there for like 4 or 5 panels, and then he disappears just like that. But I want to bring it back up because, again, in our Child's Play video, we had a brief moment where we did learn that that storyline took place at the exact time as this storyline took place as well. But either way, you did have Psylocke and also Archangel be confronted by a character known as Ronald Parvenu. Now, Ronald Parvenu first appeared back in Wolverine issue number 45, and we had talked about that issue. He was someone who was able to capture a special kind of creature, and that was really it. And that was a long time ago. And so you kind of get the idea that there's a possibility that he might become even more important character in the world of X-Men comics, but telling you right now, he's not going to be. Now, once you have our 2 heroes walk away from him, they're then confronted by another character known as Tessa. Now, Tessa, y'all know her as Sage in current time in X-Men comics, but back in the old days, she was just Tessa, somebody who had the ability of being a psychic. Now, she also had the mind of a supercomputer as well, but that came a tad bit later. Either way, we do see her using her abilities to knock out both Archangel and Psylocke, and there is a good reason why. And we kind of find out it's all because of Shinobi Shaw. You see, for Shinobi, what he wants to do is bring in a new inner circle. Now, let's not forget that for Shinobi Shaw, he was the one who killed off his father, Sebastian. Now, the reason why he killed off his father is because, one, he hated his father, but also because for Shinobi, he's part of the Upstart organization. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into the Upstart organization. Just know that they were a group of people who played this very sick game where they went after other mutants to kill them off as a way to receive points in their game. But for Shinobi, what he's trying to do right now is bring back the inner circle. Now, we learn here that for Archangel and also Shinobi, they knew each other since they were children because their fathers were part of the Hellfire Club in the earlier days. But even back then, for Archangel, he knew that Sebastian was abusing his wife and son. And of course, that means Shinobi. And so for Archangel, he's very surprised in the idea that Shinobi would want to bring back the inner circle and take up where his father had left off at after his father had abused him. Now, you also have Archangel tell Shinobi, like, hey, listen, I'm not going to join. And the reason why, because the inner circle, they represent so much evil in the world. It would be wrong for me to join that kind of organization. Now, it does lead into a battle between the two characters, but it's really more of Archangel trying to get Shinobi to realize that he has the ability to not turn out like his father did, become this evil person in the world. Now, for Shinobi, it's kind of well known that he had killed off his father, but at the same time, for Shinobi, he does not want to confirm. And so, even though you have Warren saying, like, hey, listen, we all know that you were the one who had killed off your father, for Shinobi, he's trying his best to not confirm that kind of information. But either way, while you have the two characters battling against each other, again, it's really more Warren saying, you have the ability to end the cycle that you were part of when it came to your father and the inner circle. Don't become like him. Become a better person. Now, something else I should also mention is that for Shinobi Shaw, he's kind of like Shadowcat. He has the ability to phase through things, but also kind of being able to harden his body as well. But while you have the two characters battling against each other, you then have Psylocke being able to sneak up on Shinobi and give him her psychic knife. Now, when she does use it on him, it makes him remember all the bad times he had growing up with his father, Sebastian, all the abuse that he had went through. And so you have Warren tell Shinobi, like, you have the ability to change your life around. Your past cannot determine the person that you are going to be. It is your actions that are going to determine the kind of person that you are going to be. So use your actions to turn your life around and get away from the person that your father was in the past, and don't become like him. And you have our two heroes just walk off just like that. And that really ends the entire book right there. Yes, it's a small video, guys, but honestly, we had to sit down and talk about it because it's the whole idea of the possibility of the Hellfire Club coming back, the inner circle, but also possibly Shinobi Shaw might be going down a different path. It's a huge maybe, but it could possibly happen. But again, this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.